wonderful author, Jan Brett. And there are a couple things I want to go over before we begin. Now this Lexile, it's under 500, which means it's an easy read. But there's no reason we can't enjoy easy reads as well as challenging reads. Some of your Lexiles might even be 1,000 or 1,100, but it's still great to stop and enjoy these books that have lower Lexiles. If you think about this book, the cover of the book, Trouble with Trolls, our author is... Jan Brett. If you think about the author's purpose for writing this book and considering the cover, what do you think it would be? The author's purpose. Remember, there's 3 reasons for writing. Keep high in mind. There's persuade, inform, and entertain. So why did Jan Brett write this book? To entertain. Okay? So we get to sit back, relax, and enjoy this neat tale, Trouble with Trolls. As we read, I want you to consider the tone of the book, the vibe, the feeling of the book. And then when we're finished, we're going to talk about the theme. Does anyone remember what theme is? Girls, are you still with me in the back? My faraway girls. Theme. Theme is what, Colin? Help them out, everyone.
The main idea.
Okay, the message, right. And it's kind of like main idea, but it's like the general message they're trying to convey. All right, without further ado, let's begin. Trouble with Trolls. My name is Treva, and I have had trouble with trolls. It all happened one day in early spring when I decided to visit my cousin who lived on the other side of Mount Baldy. It takes all morning to climb up the mountain, but then I fly down the other side on my skis. My dog Tuffy and I walked up the path until we reached a place where the last of the old trees stood. And that's where the trouble with trolls began. As we walked through the trees, something scuttled by. Tuffy ran after it. I heard a yelp, and there was Tuffy, caught tight in the arms of a troll. I was certain that's what he was, with his long furry tail, big ears, and one gold earring. The troll squealed and growled, "I want dog." He waggled his ears back and forth at me, and then I had an idea. Maybe I could trick this greedy troll. Go ahead, take the dog. I've got my beautiful mittens. And I reached up and I warmed my ears as if I couldn't do without my mittens. The troll's eyes darted back and forth from Tuffy to my mittens. It was too much. He had to have them. So he dropped Tuffy, grabbed my mittens, and ran off. I was so pleased about tricking the troll that I didn't notice Tuffy was missing again until I came face to face with the second troll. This one was rocking with glee, his long nose buried in Tuffy's warm fur. "I got dog," he boasted. I shrugged. You can have the dog. Just don't take my favorite pom-pom hat. And I fluffed it up, and I dusted my nose with it. The troll's eyes lit up. He snatched the hat, and he scurried away as fast as he could go. Let me interrupt real quickly. What do you think the tone is right now? What's your vibe? What's the feeling of the book? Matthew?
Like trickery.
Trickery, maybe? Okay, so describe another adjective. What are you feeling as you think about the book? How are you feeling? Savannah?
Mischievous.
Maybe mischievous? Are you feeling a little bit of excitement?
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of anticipation? Is anyone kind of worried at all? Maybe a little bit. I'm noticing some of your expressions. You're like, what? Like, no, one of your expressions really showed me you were concerned about what's going on with the dog.
What?
I shrugged. You can have the dog. Oh yeah, we said that. He snatched the hat and he scurried away as fast as he could go. What a morning. I lived on Mount Baldy all my life and I had never heard of anyone ever seeing a troll. It was time to take steps. Tuffy, from now on, you follow me. What I didn't know was a third troll was sneaking up right behind us. I heard a noise. Whoop! This troll had grabbed Tuffy by the tail and was pointing to a big iron pot. That word, whoop, does anyone know what kind of figurative language that is? Figurative language. Whoop, Carter.
Isn't it like an onomatopoeia?
Beautiful. It's an onomatopoeia, words that sound like they're spelled and they're said. Pull, pull, she cried. I slipped off my sweater when she wasn't looking. Phew, this leaves my special puller. And I put a rock down the neck of my sweater and I pulled it by the arms to show how it worked. Trolls are dim, but this one was smart enough to see that my sweater was just the thing to drag her pot. She scampered away with it, and Tuffy and I listened as the bong, bong, bong of the pot bouncing down the mountain. What kind of word is bong?
Onomatopoeia.
Good. Now we could see the top of Mount Baldy. What a relief. What we didn't know was that we were walking toward double trouble. As Tuffy and I squeezed between two boulders, twin trolls jumped out. Ha ha! They bellowed together and they pounced on Tuffy. Thank you, Caleb. This time I was ready. I saw their pointy little heads and I knew just what to do. Off came my boots and I dangled them in the air. Imagine wanting a dog and ignoring these. Instantly, the twin trolls dropped Tuffy and leaped for my boots. As they disappeared into the distance, I looked down at Tuffy. The top of the mountain was close. I'm not taking any chances. I'm going to carry you the rest of the way. Each step was harder. I held Tuffy tightly, and I kept going. And when we reached the top, all 5 trolls were waiting. We want dog, they bellowed and ran toward us. In this scuffle, they got Tuffy away from me. I closed my eyes to keep back the tears. Then I knew what to do. I reached around and unbuckled my skis. I held them so the sun would sparkle on their shiny paint. I shook them so the trolls could hear their tiny bells. I waved them through the air, making a swoosh, swoosh sound. And finally, I whispered as if it were a big secret. I can fly with these. Fly! The trolls roared. How fly? I picked up my ski poles. I blew on my hands to warm them. Oh, I'll need my mittens to show you. The troll with the big ears threw my mittens over. I can't fly unless I can see, I said reluctantly. I'll need my hat to keep the wind from blowing into my eyes. The troll with the long nose tossed me my pom-pom hat. Look, I said, shivering in the wind. Flying is easy, but I can't do it without my sweater. And that's fine. Oh, God bless you. The other trolls stared at the troll with my sweater. She hesitated, but then gave it to me. I put it on and I positioned my skis on the snow. But even the trolls could see that my feet wouldn't fit into the bindings. I really need those boots, I said reassuringly to the twins. Now I had everything back. My mittens, my hat, my sweater, my boots. I stood at the top of Mount Baldy, ready to go. I held a piece of yarn high into the air to test the wind for flying. It was too much for these greedy trolls. Fly, 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 they clamored. Oh, I need you to push me. Can't push. Hold dog. Okay, I said. I'll hold the dog. The trolls gave me one giant push. Fly, 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 they shouted at me. And as we flew down the mountain, I could hear the trolls' cries change to wails of, dog, dog, dog. And I looked back, and All I could see was a pile of trolls shoving and pushing each other furiously around in the snow, arms flying and heads bumping. Now Tuffy and I made it safely down that mountain, and the trolls had never been seen again. If you travel over the top of Mount Baldy in early spring, you can see the white cotton grass waving wildly in the wind. It's all that's left from the day that I had trouble with the trolls.